In the struggle for the independence of the southern Cameroons, Ambazonia, the one who controls our people will control our land. The one who controls our land will control our wealth, our destiny, the destiny of our children, the destiny of our humanity. What has happened to us in the last 56 years and counting is but a taste of what is yet to come if we give up now. The French in Africa are worse than Nazis in Europe in the 1940s. They are racist, poor racist, who depend on African wealth to be a power in the world. And as a member of the Western Alliance, no one is challenging their continuous colonial crimes in Africa in the 21st century. But we must challenge them in southern Cameroon's Ambazonia.
There is no longer any room for hope. If we wish to be free, if we mean to preserve inviolate those inestimable privileges for which we have been so long contending, if we mean not basely to abandon the noble struggle in which we have been so long engaged, and which we have pledged ourselves never to abandon until the glorious object of our contest shall be obtained, we must fight. I repeat it, sir, we must fight. An appeal to arms and to the God of hosts is all that is left us. They tell us, sir, that we are weak, unable to cope with so formidable an adversary. But when shall we be stronger? Will it be the next week, or the next year? Will it be when we are totally disarmed? Shall we gather strength by irresolution and inaction? Shall we acquire the means of effectual resistance by lying supinely on our backs and hugging the delusive phantom of hope until our enemies shall have bound us hand and foot? Sir, we are not weak if we make a proper use of those means by which the God of nature hath placed in our power. The millions of people, armed in the holy cause of liberty, and in such a country as that which we possess, are invincible by any force which our enemy can send against us. Besides, sir, we shall not fight our battles alone.
The just God, who presides over the destiny of nations, will raise friends to fight our battles with us. Always remember that the battle is not to the strong alone. It is also to the vigilant, the active, and the brave. We are all of the above, and where we lack, we can quickly adjust.
Besides, sir, we have no election. If we were base enough to desire it, it is now too late to retire from the contest. There is no retreat but in submission and slavery. Our chains are forged. The war is inevitable, and let it come. I repeat it, sir, let it come. It is in vain, sir, to extenuate the matter. Gentlemen may cry, peace, peace, but there is no peace. The war is actually begun. The next gale that sweeps from the north will bring to our ears the clash of resounding arms. Our brethren are already in the field. Why stand we here idle? What is it that gentlemen wish? What would they have? Is life so dear, or peace so sweet, as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God! I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty, or give me death.
What we really have is not a country. There's no country called La République du Cameroon. It's a French construct, okay, to name one of their plantations. And in that plantation, they have plantation masters who they design to be there, and then they direct them as they want. And I'm saying this is not something I'm imagining. This is exactly how it was designed, and it was designed in 1944 in Brazzaville, in the Brazzaville Conference, where after France has after Germany had occupied France, and the French were figuring out how they can remain a power in the world, okay, in the new order that was created. And their theory was that they would remain a power if they maintain their African colonies. And so Charles de Gaulle organized this conference in Brazzaville where they met, and they decided that they are going to choose the presidents of each of these their francophone countries. And then the way they put it is that they're going to impose these people in their countries, and then those people earn their credibility, they call it their spurs, by dealing with the problems of the people, because the people will now be forced to look up to them for their solutions, and that will legitimize them. But they will be there, and that's why Paul Biya has been in place for 34 years now. But we cannot talk about this without going back to the Algerian War. France used to depend on its energy from the Algerian War, and so after they lost Algeria, then they decided that sub-Saharan Africa would be where they get their energy. And so in order to create stability, so their problem, France's interest in our different francophone countries is not the people. They're more interested in stability so that they can exploit the resources without disturbance. And so in Cameroon, they found Ahidjo, and after Ahidjo was not being very useful, they brought Paul Biya, and he's been there for 34 years. I always want to have that as a background as we discuss anything in the place. Okay? And so we have Chiroma, who is now the spokesman of these hired hands in the place. And he's been talking about constitution every time. And I know the last time he said that was when there was this interview with the Cameroon Journal artist. And you remember that interview?
Yes, I do. Yeah, he's been talking about the constitution. I mean, in that interview, he talks about, because the journalist Chris Anu
yes,
asked him, why is it that the leaders, Bala and the others, are being held in jail? And he said they caught them in acts of vandalism and all kinds of things that he quoted.
He said they caught them red-handed.
Red-handed.
Yes.
But the interesting thing is that for all the time that they have been holding them since the 17th of January, the government has been unable to bring any charges against them. So if you catch somebody red-handed, as Chiroma says, it shouldn't be difficult for you to bring the charges against them to court. You can't be bringing them every month to court, and you can't bring those charges that you caught them red-handed.
Yes.
And if you do look at the flip side of it, those who have actually committed crimes against Southern Cameroonians, none of them has been charged. We have people who have been murdered. We have students who were beaten. We have students who were raped. We have students who were abused and tortured, and none of this, you have never heard of an investigation. They like commissions and they like things like that. They have not created any presidential commission to look into those things. So it is a pity that he can sit and talk about Cameroon as this state of a law, a country that respects people's laws and people's rights, when it pertains to Southern Cameroonians. They can hold these people in jail forever and pretend that they have committed some crimes.
Okay.
But the criminals that they have amongst them, none of them have been charged. None of them are even investigated. So it is funny.
The three things that you brought up as I've been listening to you. One is the children who have been killed and who have been wrapped in mud and who have been arrested and they're in jail. None of them was doing anything illegal.
Correct.
No, they were protesting to their government
which is supposed to be guaranteed.
Which is guaranteed by the Constitution.
The Constitution that he quotes.
Yes, and I remember the American State Department did remind the government of Cameroon about that. Okay?
And the United Nations High Commission, Human Rights Commission too.
Right.
Yes.
So all the arrests, all the killings, and all the maltreatments that you've seen with the students and the youth, they were all absolutely for doing nothing that's wrong. There was no crime committed. That's one. The second is that you see the arrest of Bala, Bibixi, and the other people, and then the exile of people like Barrister Bobga and Tamnasang and all of those. It's really part of a plan to take away leadership from the people. Okay, so don't be waiting for any charges. They're going to keep them there until one day they'll release them after they think that they have accomplished whatever they're trying to accomplish. Okay.
Well, the reason.
Before you go though,
yeah.
I want to finish this, because this is really the key thing that I want you to address, that I've heard Chiroma bring up many times, even when he's being interviewed by international media organizations. He says that, we can discuss everything as long as it fits with the Constitution. Just bring it. Of course, we know that they're lying, that he's lying. But I want you I want you to do this, because I've heard you mention it in one episode, but I want you to expand on that. You talked about this man keeps using the Constitution as though it's one great document which is carved in stone and everybody respects all the time.
Yeah. I don't know how many constitutions. I don't know exactly which constitution he's talking about. Is it the 1961 Constitution? Is it the 1972 Constitution? Is it the 1984 Constitution? Is it the 1996 Constitution? Or which? There are so many constitutions.
Yes.
So I don't know exactly which one he is referencing. So it would be nice, Mr. Chiroma, when you are interviewed next time you're talking about the Constitution, please state exactly which constitution you're talking about, because we have had so many constitutions in Cameroon. So I don't know which one you're talking about. So, but when he talks about anything that is within the Constitution, what I see in that is somebody who does not understand that the government is one of the people, for the people, and by the people. And even if you have something that is stipulated in the Constitution, and at one point in time the people don't value that particular article or stipulation in the Constitution, they can go ahead and change it.
Yes.
They have a right to complain to their government and have that particular article in the Constitution amended.
Yes, and there should be rules to amend.
Yes.
So, but you know that when they amend, there are no rules. Like when they amended the fake Constitution that they have in 1961 to first of all, they amended their Constitution.
Yes.
To bring in Southern Cameroon.
Yeah, so when we talk about the 1961 Constitution,
yes,
we are assuming that, okay, for whatever reason we agreed to it at some kind of agreement, and we started from there, right? But they still could not respect it, because by their very nature they are not built to respect documents like that.
Yes.
It wasn't conducive for them, so they had to get rid of it.
Yes, and for that 1961 Constitution that I mentioned, I think it's very important for our people to know that there were two alternatives that we voted for, and there were two alternatives that were presented to us at the plebiscite. We're supposed to vote for one. We voted to join La Republique, and in that option, there was a very specific relationship that we supposed to have with La Republique, and that's supposed to be in the federal state. But even before we went to Fumban, Ahidjo had amended their own constitution, and it was secretly sent to Foncha, and because Foncha was one of them, he hid it from the people of Southern Cameroon. So by the time they went to Fumban, Foncha already knew what they were going to accomplish there. He and Ahidjo had agreed. He has hidden it from our people. And when they went to Fumban, if you read some of the documents, you hear how most of the delegates who were there were complaining. And it ended up, we ended up with absolutely no document. So when the lawyers say, show us the Act of Union, there isn't one.
Yeah, I mean, if we stick with the Constitution things that he's talking about, we just have to ask him to define which Constitution he's talking about.
Yes.
And how that Constitution is actually, because I know how Joseph Ona created that Constitution. The Munzus and all the other people were part of that commission. And they resigned because they were not going anywhere with him.
Yes.
Actually, Munzu were talking about federation. And he had a constitution that he had proposed in 1996 for a federal state in Cameroon.
Yes.
And that was not accepted.
Yes. So you wonder what federation he's talking about.
We'll have to learn. We'll have to listen to him at some point. So Chiruma has no basis to be talking about constitutions and laws.
Yes.
Because they don't respect any law. Right? They respect the law if it suits them. If the people are protesting, which they have a right to do under the Charter, the Human Rights Charter, they have a right to protest their government. In the Cameroon Constitution, they have the right to protest their government. And when they are doing that, you arrest them and you put them in jail.
Yes, I even kill some of them.
And you kill some of them. And that goes unpunished. So it is okay to kill Southern Cameroonians, to maim Southern Cameroonians, to rape and torture them, but it is not okay for Southern Cameroonians to protest the government that is supposed to be governing them.
Yes, and I want to go back to this, that when the government of La République du Cameroon or the government of Togo or all the governments of the Francophone African countries, when they go out, they are really agents of France, and their role is not to be the government that you just stated, government of the people, for the people, by the people. It's not. Their role is to keep the population under control, so that France can do its exploitation free of any disturbance.
Yeah.
Okay? And the police, the work of the police, the work of the gendarmes, the work of the military is not to serve and protect like you have in the United States. It is to suppress and it's to suppress the population so they don't cause problems. And that's why, let me just finish this part. And that's why when you see they go out, they don't go out like a riot control police, even if there's a riot. Most of the protesters are people singing on the street. So when they go out, they are trying to make sure that you get the information that we don't want you out on the public protesting. And so what they do is they kill, they beat, and they destroy property. You understand that property part? In other countries, the police protects property. But in Cameroon, the police, the gendarmes, the military, they are the ones actually damaging properties. They are the ones breaking windshields on cars. They're the ones, when you watch the videos from home, you see they're the ones using hammers to destroy somebody's motorcycle. I don't know if you've seen some of those. So if you look at what they do, and so when Chiroma goes out there, he is pretending to be actually an official of a legitimate government, because they know what legitimate governments do. And so they use that same camouflage and say, oh no, we're just a government protecting people from protecting property. And no, they are not, because most of the property damages, if you look at the videos, they're being done by the military.
Yeah, well,
or by their security, their insecurity guards.
Well, you don't have to look very far to substantiate that point that you just made. If you listen to Bobga and the others and the lawyers, after their march, they came to City Chemist roundabout, and stood there and thanked the people and even thanked the police for coming out. What happened after that?
Yes, the tear gas went off.
Yeah, so was there any reason for it?
No, there was a reason for it. They don't want this to end peacefully, and then they come back the next day.
Exactly. So that's substantiate exactly what you are saying.
Yes.
So they are not a force that is trained to protect the people. They are trained to intimidate the people, to set examples. They kill to set an example. They maim, they rape, to intimidate people, to make sure that people don't come out. But our people have grown above all those intimidations. Our people are now saying that, look, we don't care how much of those things we bring to us. It is not going to change where we stand. We are moving forward.
Yes, and thank you for saying that, because the next topic that I want to talk about is that the people of Southern Cameroon, the people of Ambazonia, have looked at this and said, we don't want to be part of that. We don't want to be a colonial people. We don't want to be. We don't want to be slaves, because to accept that type of treatment that we just described, like citizens of Francophone Africa are accepting, because Africans that were controlled by the British, Africans that were controlled by the Portuguese, Africans that were controlled by the Spanish, they've all freed themselves. The only citizens that are still colonial subjects in Africa are Francophones. And somehow, I don't know how, maybe because they don't know anything else, they are living comfortably with it. But the people of Southern Cameroon have refused to be colonial subjects, because, being a colonial subject is just one step away from being a slave.
No, but when you say they were never part of it.
No, but I'm also saying that because they were never part of it, they know what it means to be a human being and be a free human being.
Exactly.
Yes, and so they're the only people really fighting to get out of that whole mess.
Yes.
But as we fight, the colonialists have made it really complicated for us to free ourselves. Don't forget that when they first came in, they took away our businesses. They took away our government. They took away they took away our sources of power, like our energy. We've already mentioned that on this show. So they made sure that they weaken us in a way that we can never fight them back. Mm-hmm. But somehow we always finding a way to fight them back, like we are at this time. Mm-hmm. And I think that they thought that they were totally done with us. That's why they were really coming for our souls. Mm-hmm. And the people fought back. But here's a problem. The question now is, how do we fight back? Obviously, there are two fronts. There's the home front, and there's obviously those who voted with their feet and they went abroad. By the way, it was designed that way too. Mm-hmm. That those who are smart, they will not let them participate in the system. They will either send them out on exile, or they'll imprison them, or they kill them. Mm-hmm. And they will take those who are not challenging the system, either playing the ostrich or just naturally dumb. Those are the ones that they will empower and give them the country to run so that they can control. Okay? So a whole chunk of our people are outside the territory now, and they're fighting in the territory, and there's a situation that we want to resolve. Mm-hmm. The question I want you to discuss is, what are the different roles? What's the role of the home front and the role of those in the diaspora?
Well, the role of those in the diaspora is to support the home front. We have the home front, as we call it, are the people who are in the trenches.
Yes.
So they need all the support from us that we can give them. Every single bit of support that we can give them. We are their line of support. So when you hear in the military, like when you hear in the war in Syria, they say they have cut access to the rebels. So they have cut their supply lines. That is what it means. So
okay.
We are like a supply line to the home front. And that is why the government of La Republique has a lot of problems with people in the diaspora. Because the people in the diaspora, we are not back home. So they are not supposed to be bothering about us because we are out of the picture. But the reason they are so worried because they know that we are that lifeline.
Okay, before you go to that though, you use you use the right words when you talk about the front line and the supply line, or so because it's very important that this be made clear. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying this because it seems to me that the home front those who are on the front line are actually waiting for people who are not on the front line to do the work of the front line, meaning that to be the spearhead of the struggle. Is this supposed to be that way?
No, well, they have shown us what they are capable of doing. The problem is that some of us out here have been promising the home front, and I think that has incapacitated some people on the ground.
When you say promising falsely?
Well, I don't want to say falsely, but they have not delivered yet. So it is different. So if you tell somebody that I'll be coming in June, and we're in July and you have not showed up, that person will be wondering what is happening.
Okay.
So I think the home front needs to reawaken itself, refortify itself, and get back into the trenches, because they are going to do the heavy lifting, and we are going to just be able to give them a hand. But they have to be the ones to do the heavy lifting.
It is very important that we clarify that, because my experience in the struggle has been that when the home front moves, they move the diaspora also.
Correct.
When take for example the time of the SDF, when the SDF was launched and the things were happening home, it mobilized the diaspora.
Yeah, when you're going to the SDF is almost like 30 years ago. Just take
I definitely want to start there so that we don't just have one example. And when things started happening back home in December and January, that's when they also activated the diaspora.
Yes.
And so and the reason being that in the diaspora, they're living their lives here, and things are moving smoothly.
Yes.
But they do not forget home.
No, they don't.
And they wish the people home to be well, because they are part of it. That's where our families are.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
And so if, from what you just told me, if there were false promises from the diaspora, that somehow incapacitates the front line, then that's where we're losing.
Yeah, that is my belief.
No, and it's not a wrong belief.
Yeah, that is my belief. But the people, and I am glad that we get these reports. The people are keeping an eye, they are watching, they know what is happening. Where I have talked here about the guys from Jakiri who came down to Baba and did what they did. There are so many examples like that. And that is how everybody is going to take care of their neighborhood. Every single person. You are going to do your own job where you are. You are going to make sure that where you are, La Republique is not taking advantage of anything where you are. So however you guys are going to organize yourselves to do that, that is what we need to do. And when you do that, your compatriots who are out here are going to step up and support you.
Yeah, because they're only in a support role.
Yes, we are only in the support role.
And so the generals, the field marshals, and the trenches and all of that, they are back home. They are not here.
No. Yes, they are back
and
home.
So when that is not happening, then it's not happening here either.
No, it is not.
Yes.
Yes, so you make a good point there. So whatever happens back at home, we are sitting out here in the diaspora. Like you said, we have our lives that we are living.
Yes.
The only reason we are concerned about what is happening back there is that we care about the people we left behind.
Yes.
Otherwise, we will say, well,
you voted with your feet.
Yes, I left already, so it doesn't really matter to me. But it matters to us because we know that you guys could do better. The country could be better. A lot of people can be better than where they are if we can get rid of these people. So whatever we are doing out here, we are doing it for your sake. It is not for us. It is not for our children. It is not none of that. So some people will sit home and say, "Oh, you have asked us to keep our children home, and you are sending your own children to school." Well, if the teachers in North America today called for a strike, I will keep my children at home.
Yes.
So what we are doing here is trying to support you people to achieve what you guys have set out to achieve. We are not going to do the heavy lifting. You guys have to do the heavy lifting.
But I can tell you that argument is the argument of the agents of La Republique who are saying that. will say, oh, you're in America, you're going to work and your children are going to school and you're asking other people not to. I can tell you that America did pay a price, a very heavy price to have that. And so what we're trying to do is also clean our own country so that we can have the same thing.
Yeah, well, this is...
I mean, our own country being Ambazonia.
Yes, this is what people think. Because people have lived in such an age where you just want to have everything without working for it. That is why you have all these bribes and corruption, and somebody can go and sit with a graduation gown when they don't even have an A level, or they have one O level or something. Because
what are you talking about now?
Well, there are reports that the mayor of Boya, who is supposed to have graduated from the University of Boya, so you see how
that he went. No, finish that story. He went there. My understanding is that he went to university fraudulently with one A level after 7 tries. Mm-hmm. That's not a smart guy.
Well, I don't even know whether he's smart or not smart, but the fact is that there is no institution.
No, academically smart. I'm sure he's very smart as a bully, and someone who can survive in a system that is corrupt.
Yes,
a gangster. Yes,
yes.
But to prove his own in a meritorious environment, that's what exams do.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that our people have been caught up in this situation where we want everything now. Nobody is ready to sacrifice anything. Nobody is ready to work hard and sacrifice today so that you can have a better tomorrow. So you start questioning decisions that you yourself sat down and made those decisions. You made those decisions because you saw the quality of education that your children were having. You saw what was happening in the courts. You saw that the country was getting out of your hands. And you made that decision, and you have to live with that decision. So if you want a better future for your children and your children's children, you have to be able to sustain the decisions that you made and carry it to the finish. You can't sit and be blaming the diaspora for it. We are going to play our part. We are going to support you, and we are going to make sure that this fight goes all to the end. If you do your part, I am going to do my part.
Yes, and I just want to add to that you know that SDF craft probably not been formed if Frundi and everybody in the territory was not out doing what they needed to do, mm-hmm. and then La République, under the control of France, sends its agent to do what they needed to do to remain colonialists in the territory, mm-hmm. and then we did what we needed to do. We exposed mm-hmm. it.
Yes. Because
one of the things that the diaspora does, it brings the attention of the world to what is going on down there, mm-hmm. and that's how SDF got formed.
Yes, because
there were a lot of marches all over the world.
When we do what we are doing out here,
but just hold your thought, because what I'm trying to say is that our people, what we did for the SDF to be created, we need to do the same thing for our liberation. Because we have, look, after we say this, I definitely want to say that our people have proven that they have the spine of steel to still resist up to this moment. Okay? And I think what we're saying is that whatever brought us this far, that needs to continue. Whatever saved SDF, we need to remember that lesson and do exactly the same thing. Please go ahead.
I don't even want you to be talking about the SDF, but probably...
Well, the SDF succeeded in whatever they were succeeding at the time.
Yes.
They succeeded in challenging a one-man dictatorship to create whatever became of that challenge, because I don't believe it worked, but they did challenge it, and look, the SDF and the Southern Cameroon, they're fighting against France, and we are in that whole black dark empire. I think we're the only people actually doing some of what we are really doing, because the rest, they just sit and they have accepted their fate, and it's a fate that is not for human beings.
Well, what I was going to say is that what we do out here, we make sure that when La République walks into any diplomatic mission, it has a lot of questions to answer. The reason some of those diplomatic missions are not coming forth is because we are still dragging our feet. But the diaspora has been able to show the diplomatic missions around the world that La République is fictitious. La République has no claim to our territory. They have no document to show that there was any matrimony between the Southern Cameroons and La République. We have made that case. That case has been successfully made in the diaspora. So we started this Voices show by talking about what we were doing here in the diaspora and thinking that the ground was lost. So we have never been sleeping in the diaspora.
No.
Yes, the people in the territory have now come full circle to join forces with us for us to be able to kick these guys out.
Yes.
So we'll keep doing what we are doing, but we hope that you guys can do the heavy lifting and we'll get this ball rolling.
Look, I'm going to say something about the ghost towns, okay? And it's related to what you just said. You know, colonialists, slave dealers, and thieves, armed robbers, they're all the same. They operate in the dark. And so wherever there is noise about that activity or there's light thrown on that activity, it hurts them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've really been conflicted about ghost towns where you keep people quiet in their homes instead of going out in the public and protesting. Because when you keep people at their homes, the international media goes away. And then the colonialists and the occupationists, now people are quiet in their homes and they go in picking people out one by one. I have always been in favor of asserting our right to protest on the street, not violently, but definitely out in the street, voicing our discontent and telling the world what the problem is. Because when you do that, international media comes in there. Because when you go quiet through Ghost Town, international media goes away, and then the darkness comes back. Tell me, express your opinion about that.
Well, I have a different. All of the strategies are good, because what the Ghost Town does is that the Ghost Town shows the colonial administrator that we don't take orders from you anymore.
I agree with that.
That is what the Ghost Town does, because Ekema, whatever his name is, the mayor of Boya, they will go around trying to beat people, lock people's stores up. How can you go and put a lock on somebody's store? It is not a municipal store.
Yes. It's not a crime for somebody to decide that they don't want to be in business anymore.
Yes, I don't want to open my store today.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you can see how infuriating that is to the colonial administrator and their agents, like Ekema. So that is what the Ghost Town does. The Ghost Town sends a message to Yaoundé that, look, we don't take orders from you. We are self-governing now. We decide on what we are going to do. So that is the power of the Ghost Town. It impacts us economically, but it sends a strong message that, look, we are making our own decisions now. So that is what I take from the Ghost Towns. That is where it is very salient and important to me.
Yes, and I agree with that. I agree that it has that effect, okay? But I think where I'm having difficulties is how do we move it forward and cross the finish line? Because we cannot remain in that mode. Because when you are in that mode, you are saying to the colonizer that we are not taking orders from you, but then you're not getting rid of them either.
Yes.
And you're not getting the help to get rid of them.
Yes.
That's where I'm a little stuck.
No, that is, every chair has about 3 or 4 stools, right? That is one leg of the stools. So the other legs will be putting together things that are going to move the colonizers out, like those guys did in Baba.
Mm-hmm.
So those are some of the things that we need to be doing to add on to the ghost towns. You know, we have been talking about start using the dollar as a currency and refusing to use the CFA because it's probably going to be devalued pretty soon. So the people need to be thinking of ways to start not only telling the people that we don't take orders from you, but actually should, because, okay, for example, if I am a transporter in the southern Cameroons today, and I don't ply the road to go to Bafoussam or to cross Matters, I run only between Bamenda and Manfe, there will be no reason for me to pay patent anywhere. Because I'm paying it to what government?
You're paying it to the government that will use the money to fight you back.
Exactly. So those are some of the things that people can do. If I am going to run in the road in Bunda or Bafusam or some of those places, okay, I can decide to pay because I know I'm going to go to La Republique. But if I'm staying in the southern Cameroons, there is no reason for me to pay those documents, and that is part of the resistance.
No, I look, the resistance, especially in a non-violent way, it's very, very good. And let me,
because if you did that, right, the guy who was stopped in Baba and his documents taken, those guys probably wanted just money from him. He probably had paid all his documents. But if every single transporter that runs from Kambe to Bamenda, from Bamenda to Manfe and Ekok and all those places, if all of them decide that from today henceforth, we are not going to pay any document to any treasury of La Republique, and nobody is going to stop us from plowing this road.
And they are not going to pay taxes like the Bamenda market did?
Yes. That is going to be a very big statement.
That's part of the resistance. Now, what I want to say here, and this is a piece of news that came, that the Presbyterian Church has decided they're going to go back to school come September. Did you hear that?
I heard that.
And what do you think about that? Are they breaking the resistance?
No, they are not breaking the resistance. Does the Presbyterian Church have kids that they will send to school? The parents have I have my children. I have children that I sponsor in Cameroon. Is the Presbyterian Church going to come and take those children and bring them? I have students that I send to Presbyterian schools. But the fact of the matter is that I have read other news outlets have been telling them that is not going to happen, because we are creating a government or a country that is going to be run by the people. The schools that the Presbyterian Church is calling that the students should go back to, it's not the same schools like government school, Akembuom, or some of those places where we have some of those problems. So they are calling for schools to go back when those problems have not been addressed.
Yes.
The people who started all of these things are in jail. We have asked that those people should be released if we want to even consider anything. That has not been done. So that is not even something that we can discuss. To me, it is. It's
a non-starter.
It's a non-starter.
All right.
And those who can sit back home and say it is a diaspora pushing and yes, it is a diaspora because we believe in what the people put forward. I don't want to be paying school fees and sending students to go into substandard education.
You know, I was very proud of the Presbyterian Church when they resisted, or when I know their argument has always been the one you just put, that we have never closed our doors.
Yes, and that is why I'm telling you that.
Yes, it's always been their argument.
Yes,
but I think for them, this is not a struggle where somebody can, or any institution in the territory can claim to be neutral. Okay, so this is I was very proud of the Presbyterian Church when the government dragged them to court. I listened to the moderator make a speech. I saw the whole congregation go with him. I was very proud of that. Okay, and so this whole thing that they're going back to school was disappointing, because what we're trying to do is look for the cheapest and most life-saving way to free ourselves from bondage. Okay, to regain our humanity. That's really what we're trying to do. The human condition is one where humans can always adapt even to the worst conditions. Okay, but I think we should never ever lose track of what human rights are, of what rights we as human beings have, and we should never allow any government, be it our own government or an imposed government, to take control of that. And so when the Presbyterian Church says we are going to go back to school, I mean, they're definitely passing on a message, and whoever approached them to make that arrangement definitely realize that they have some power in what is going on.
Well, and the other thing I look in the part of the statement,
and they say, okay, whatever power we have, we're going to give it to you. That's what that decision to say we're going to go back to school in September. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you short. Do you know, as I was reading that decision, it was also said that they are going to promote everybody.
That is what I was going to say. So tell me, what if you have not really become La République, right?
Yes, or you're not joining the destruction of our people.
Yes, you're just going to go ahead and promote everybody to the next class. That is education. That I don't know if that is what the Presbyterian Church and their educational system stands for. And the other thing I was going to say is that, we always think of ourselves, we have a sense of community.
Mm-hmm.
That is how we were raised. And I think it is John Donne who said, when you hear when the knell sounds, do not ask for who it sounds, because it might sound for you.
Yes.
No man is an island.
Yes.
Right? Nobody. Yes. That is how we live.
Yes.
No man is an island. We are all of this together. What affects you affects me.
Yes.
So when the Presbyterian Church is talking about, well, we are going to pull ourselves and go, you are now behaving as though you are not part of that community anymore.
Yes.
And that is where I was talking about, well, you might have a certain standard of education that you're offering to your students, and your students are not impacted by some of the things we saw in the kind of education or the kind of lectures that were being given to other students, particularly in the government primary and secondary schools, where all of these French-speaking people were sent to come and adulterate our education. That might not be happening in the Presbyterian school.
No, it is, because look, like I told you.
Let's just assume that it's not happening, right?
Yeah.
Let's just assume, for the sake of argument, that is not happening, and that is happening only in these schools that I'm talking about. Now, when you decide that, well, I am going to go and take care of my own flock and abandon that other flock, you have forgotten about that sense of community. I'm
not even thinking about it. Look, that's one way. Or when you say, we're Presbyterian education, whatever, we've gone for 1 year without money. Let's go back and make some money, because it could be a business decision too.
Well,
it could also be just a business decision.
Have the government paid them the subventions that have been owing them for all of these years?
But the Presbyterian Church needs to think twice about. Look, I'm a product of the Presbyterian Church and school. I went to Presbyterian School Aziri. I went to CPC Bali. So my formation, was all by the Presbyterian Church. I'm very proud of it. I'm a member of that church. I've been very proud of their actions. I think they are wrong if they want to cooperate with colonialists. I want to say something about colonialism. Colonialism was a successor of slavery. Okay? Mm-hmm. So at the end of slavery, I think it took like 20 years, and Europeans decided, let's just go and take over the whole of Africa. Mm-hmm. They took it over, and then they still treated us as slaves. The only thing that saved us was independence, which was not really a push by the Europeans, it was really a push by the American President Franklin Roosevelt. That's the one who forced Europeans to decolonize Africa. Otherwise, slavery and colonization they're not that far. In fact, colonization is a more efficient way of slavery.
Yeah.
And if the Presbyterian Church is bowing to its pressure, then you're bound to not free the people that you are. I don't even know what they're doing with them anymore.
But they are not even living by the Bible.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Right?
Yes.
Because they are letting their flocks go. So I don't. It is funny.
Yes.
I don't know how they will justify that.
Yes.
But I am hoping that whoever made that decision,
they need to think again.
I think there was a reverend sister or somebody came out with an audio that quoted late Reverend Father Evaristus Ufani, who was the former Catholic Education Secretary for Bamena, where there was a time that the mission schools were going on strike, and government was deceiving them to go back to school, and that subventions will come. And he said they should not accept it and he was right. So I will ask the moderator of the Presbyterian Church if they have received the subventions that they were promised by the government.
No,
because
maybe they have. Maybe they have. Maybe through this decision they gave them something. Who knows?
When people come and lie to you like that, and so you prove to the people that you have no principle. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
That is what it is.
Absolutely.
You have no principle. You just go with the wind.
No, they do things for convenience.
Yes, if the wind is blowing north, you go with the wind. If it's blowing south, you go with the wind.
Yes, I want to continue to read the senior clerk's weekly writings because they were very inspiring, and they were the voice of reason. I hope the Presbyterian Church is not going to make that mistake. And having said that, the Catholic Church hasn't made a decision yet, and you can't live in the Americas without knowing about what used to happen in South America, and what the Catholic Church and the Catholic bishops and priests in South America used to do during what was going on in South America in the last decades. They used to have what they call liberation theology. I hope our priests in Amazonia and would not follow the Presbyterian Church, and instead start liberation theology among our people.
We have a priest in Kumbu who is doing that right now with all his writings. I think you have been reading that too. He wrote the letter to the Episode conference and stuff like that.
Yes.
You are talking about South America. Today, the Catholic Church in South America came out in Venezuela, came out against the decision of the president to redraw the constitution of the country. So it is not like those that used to happen some decades ago.
It's still going on now. Yes.
Because the Catholic Church and the Pope, that is where it comes from.
Now, our people are listening to us through SCBC, and so the diaspora does actually do things that are not inspired from home. No, actually, we shouldn't say that, because the creation of SCBC is still an inspiration that came from home. It made people in the diaspora started thinking and started looking for ways to empower our people to communicate with them. And so Peter Esoka goes to Bamenda, and you know what he did there. Tell me what he did and what's your take on that.
Well, Mr. Esoka went to Bamenda and said people should not be watching SCBC TV because it is clandestine.
Yes.
It is illegal. It does not stand for whatever the foundation or whatever the state is, or whatever he said.
Yes. It's trying to break up the state. And I'm asking, what state?
Well, the state that he belongs to, because he is somebody from La Republic.
Yes. And you know, that's something that people don't know. Peter Esoka is not one of you. Peter Esoka is, I hear the mother is from Douala. The father was a Bakweri man, but I think the father abandoned the family when he heard that the mother was pregnant and took off. And so the name Esoka is not a Bakweri. That man is not a Bakweri man. I understand that the name he has is the name is the maternal mother's is the maternal grandfather's name. So when you hear Peter Esoka and he talks English like us, it is another whitewash that La Republique does. They take 11 province people who came and we gave them shelter, and who when they were able to bring their country to come and take over ours, they went back into their different tribes there and really deceive our people. And so that's why Peter Esoka will come and not love what SCBC is doing in putting the truth out and helping the people liberate themselves.
Yes, before you get there, I think I understand that there is a law in Parliament that wants to incorporate common laws lawyer into the judiciary and in the Supreme Court or something like that. And that law says that in order for you to be able to serve in that common law capacity, you have to have an Anglo-Saxon educational background, right? So when you're talking about Peter Esoka, so if those people who are talking about federation, that government is doing something, that exactly is what is going to happen.
Yes, those are the people they will take.
Yes,
to come and represent us.
They will come to come and represent us. So they will not be taking us. They will not be taking you. They will not be taking your children. but they will be taking people like that
Yes.
to come and represent you.
Yes.
So
and you know how a lot of them are flooded our schools.
yes, that
Like-
is why they have sent all their children in our. It is part of the
The extinguishing us from our-
policy. Yes. So they have to send their children into our schools so that they should come and learn our system and then come out and be our administrators. But people will sit home and say, "Oh, you don't want to send. You are telling us not to send our children to school because you want our children to come and you want our children to come and rule your children." No, the people who are going to rule you are from the Republic and they are going to school with your children.
Are your children going to go back to Cameroon to
No,
go and rule there?
I don't think they have any interest in going to Cameroon.
There you go.
So the people need to understand that, coming back to Peter Isoka, it is interesting that when our people, anything that we do is illegal. Right? Now you just sit down and watch.
Yeah, anything our people do is illegal.
It's illegal.
Meanwhile, let me say this, okay? Only an illegal government, a government that represents a foreign interest, can be saying that what its own people are doing is illegal. Even its own people, I mean, all of its people are violating the Constitution. Who is the Constitution for the people, or the people are for the Constitution?
That is it. So that is the problem. And when you hear somebody telling you that they have a monopoly to the truth, you have to be scared.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you have, because if somebody comes and tells you that the only person that you can listen to is Charles Ndongo on CITV or Adamu Musa, whatever, all those people are there, that they have a monopoly to the truth, you cannot listen to this person in order to be able to make a sound judgment. You have to be worried if somebody is telling you that. The only reason they will have to tell you that is because they know how potent what you are watching, how informative what you are watching, and how that can be very powerful in taking them down. So they will come and tell you that, hey, don't watch that because it is like they are treating us like kids.
Yes, yes. No, but
you want to tell you say, oh no, that thing is the devil. Don't watch it. It's terrible. Because we are not children.
Yes.
And I'm glad that our people can see through all those things and send Peter Isoka back. We don't need Peter Isoka to come and lecture us about what we need to watch. The only reason he is doing that is because he is benefiting from the system.
Yes.
I have said this before. Anybody who is saying that we should stay with La Republique or we should be in a federation with La Republique has something to gain. Just look, my people, just put on your thinking caps and look around you and see clearly. You will see what I'm talking about.
And investigate. Let me say why we talk about investigating. Growing up, the name Peter Isoka, right, was like, because in those days when I was growing up, you hear Peter Isoka, Abelmbenge. That was the other person, right? Was francophone, and then Peter Isoka was the English commentator on sports. I used to think that's our own man, and I felt like we're including the system, right? And then and Peter Isoka was in the United States,
and Emmanuel Pundi, the other guy.
So Peter Isoka was always a hero for me. But some of his actions lately actually made me go asking questions about him to find out where he's really from. And I'm doing that because when we were at the University of Yaoundé, right, we used to have one professor, Tamak, and I thought it was one of our own people too. And then when you had problems, when you went to him, you realized that no, that man was a Bassa man. And when they go over there, they put on their Bassa clock, and because they know English too, they use them now to camouflage and placard the whole system. And so you are very correct that people should put on their glasses when they hear somebody not speaking straight or not speaking truth to power. Just spend some time and investigate it. You'll find out why they're doing that.
I want to ask the people in Tico who are watching me. There is a current parliamentarian in Tico he is a representative of the people in Tico, but he's of Bassa origin. And I heard that as soon as he was voted, he took all the aid and everything that he had from Parliament to Bassa land. He did not bring it to the people in Tico.
Do you know his name?
I'm going to get his name and tell the people next time. But this information is out there.
Yes, I've heard about it too.
Yeah, so these are not, we don't make up these things.
No.
So
no.
people need to just start paying attention to these little things that we are talking about. And that is why I said this SCB TV and what we are doing in diaspora is very powerful, because some of these things happen to our people and they just look at it as, okay, maybe this is normal, this is how things are. But when we point out some of these things to you, it then reawakens them and it makes them pay more attention.
Yes.
And awakens that liberation spirit in them.
Yes, but talk about illegality, right? Mm-hmm. When the Southern Cameroons voted to join La République, there were only 8 items that we're supposed to share with La République. Mm-hmm. We're not supposed to share our media with La République.
No.
Okay? So we're supposed to control our media. It's just that these people, while we're thinking that we're making a legitimate agreement and going along with the international community, mm-hmm. and thinking that they're actually representing our interests, mm-hmm. La République was looking at us like a prey, mm-hmm. that they're going to come and get.
Yeah, that is.
And so our media is not illegal. We're supposed to have our media. Our media, La République was not supposed to control our media. And we're going to make a show where we'll bring what we voted for in the plebiscite. Mm-hmm. Because what La République has given us was not what we voted for. We never voted for La République to come and abolish our government. We never voted for them to come and destroy our economy. We never voted for them to come and be the only ones who supply us electricity or supply us water. We are human beings. We never voted for any of that. But it's because the French were still colonialists, and they looked at us as a colony and did what they did. And the international community is going with it. That's again another show, because it's a history of why the French are still colonial masters in Africa today. So no, we're not illegal. Mr. Peter Esoka is wrong. He knows better, but everybody in La République, in that whole empire, plays stomach politics. So he's playing the politics of his stomach.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Yes, and through playing the politics of his stomach, it's like, now you heard of Zama, Mr. Zama, who went home, and was put back in the plane to come back. Mm-hmm. Is that a move that benefits La République, or you think they are stiffening the spine of the Southern Cameroons to definitely break and never come back?
Well, people do things at La République. You want me to be advising them not to do it. I want them to do more of it, because that tells some of those people in the diaspora here who think that they are going to go back to La République that they are not welcome. So I want La République to do a lot of it, and it tells the international community that, look, even though La République is telling the people that these people are part of them, they don't want these people. So it is a good move for La République. It is a good move for the struggle.
No, it's a move that is consistent with their colonial obligations to the French.
Yes.
I mean, the people who are on the ground doing the job of the Frenchman. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Most countries that want to develop, they want to bring in their citizens from abroad who have acquired a lot of knowledge, a lot of technology, but a colonial power that doesn't care about the development of that land, what would they do? It will keep those people out.
No, but look at it this way, right? Mm-hmm. We were just talking about how deceitful and dishonest these people are. Mm-hmm. Because before they sent Mr. Zama out, they had some kind of a diaspora conference, right?
Yes.
Where they said they brought people from all over the world to come for a diaspora conference to discuss how they wanted to invest in. And then they turn around and send one of those diasporans back.
No, but you know what they're doing?
So,
what they are doing when they put something out like that, because the people, Paul Biya is securing his job, Chiroma is securing his job, all of them, they're securing their jobs. And the way to secure that job is to pretend that you're really a legitimate They know that internationally they'll be asking them when they go to these international agreements where they sign. Mm-hmm. And so what they do is they come and say, look at this diaspora thing, so we are working with them. All of that, they're thieves. No, but they're not lying anybody.
That's what I'm saying, is that
because Mr. Zama could have been going for that conference, right?
The actions that they did with Mr. Zama contradicts whatever thing they were trying to say, whatever dossier or they were trying to put together, right?
Yeah.
So the people are unable to lie. You see, because they catch themselves right in their own lie.
Yes.
So it is what they are saying is that no, we are not part of them, and the diaspora is not accepted in this country. So whatever they were trying to put together and lie people and bring some CPD and people from wherever they came, because I saw a lot of people from Cameroon sitting there say they are people from the diaspora. You know, and deceive the people. So
okay, it's the same as you saw a lot of people marching in Boya, right?
Exactly. So. Those are the kind of things that Peter Isoka wants our people to believe.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
No, the truth. You cannot hide the truth under the sun.
Yes. So I know I talked about the SDF. I don't want to talk about the SDF. You cannot not talk about the SDF because the SDF is. I said in one of the programs that what the SDF is doing. There are two things that I think the SDF and their parliamentarians are doing. They are serving La République because La République can actually go abroad and say, you know, and the UN can argue that Article 76B says that give the people of Southern Cameroon independence or self-government. Since they didn't give us independence, what self-government means is the government or the colonial government of La République could just bring in a few people and pay them as ministers or as parliamentarians and go to the rest of the world and say, hey, we have parliamentarians who are from there, so it's self-government. But we know that the government of La République is an agent of France, and so we end up being colonized and we don't have a way to fight back. So,
hold on. Don't move. Let me challenge that argument.
Okay.
Because I don't know how, when you have a few parliamentarians and ministers, that can be self-government. Because when you elect a government, if you are governing yourself, it means you elect your representatives, you elect your administrators, and you decide whether those people stay or go. When people elect a mayor in the Bamenda Urban Council, for example, then the government appoints a government delegate that is superior to the mayor that was elected by the people. Do you call that self-government?
Well, let me say this.
That's an extension of self-government that I've never heard. So let's not I don't know in what planet they will bring that kind of an argument.
Well, I'll tell you that when they bring that argument, you will not be there to bring the real practice on the ground. Okay, they will not, but they can put a list of, say, here are parliamentarians from the Southern Cameroon, from Bui division. You have Wiba. From Bafut, you have they can show that. Mm-hmm. And they can call those people and they say, are you a parliamentarian? And they say yes. Mm-hmm. So your argument, you will never be there to make that argument. So no, it is. The only way we can say we are not having self-government is for our parliamentarians there to come back home.
No, I don't disagree that they have to come back home. But for them to make that is not, I mean, it is a representative. It is not self-government, because even Riba cannot stand there and speak. So, I mean, they are sitting there, they are not helping us in the cause. But for them to make that argument would be really a stretch.
No, it is their argument. They are members of parliament. They're being paid to be members.
Yes,
they can show Wiba in parliament arguing with the speaker.
They say that you are a national parliamentarian, or as they call in French, député national.
Yes.
Yes. So you are not actually Wiba. It's not actually just
he's not representing the people.
No, he's not representing people.
No, but he's part of the institutions that govern Cameroon. Okay, so they can go and say we self-government. But the point I was trying to bring here is that Frundi was in London, mm-hmm. and had an interview with the BBC. Mm-hmm. Did you listen to that interview?
Yes, I did.
And what did you think about that? First of all, what did he say?
Well, he said two things. The first thing that he said that bothered me was that
the SDF is a federalist party, right?
No, I don't even see. I don't think about the SDF.
No, but he, no, but that's what he said.
Well, that's probably what he said. What I know is that the SDF is a political party in La Republique. That's what I know.
Yes.
I used to be a member of the SDF.
Yes.
I was on the streets on the 26th of May 1990 for the SDF. So I don't want to talk. When I say I don't want to talk about the SDF, I really don't. But I can talk about Fundi.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Because what he said was that the first thing that piqued my mind in the statements that he made was that we were seceded, they were secessionists.
Well, that's a question that the interviewer asked. That there's a secessionist movement going on.
And what was his answer? He said yes.
Yes. And he used the word secession, so you're correct.
So that tells you why I cannot. So I really wonder what. I don't have words to describe Mr. Fundi, what he represents, or if he even understands what our history is or what secession means.
Well, Pa, what I wanted us to do before, right? I wanted us to talk first about what he said. Yes, you're correct that there were two issues here. The secession one is one.
Yes.
The other one was that he said he's a federalist, that his party's... And it was very interesting because he was putting it in the past. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was very interesting. But he definitely said that the SDF stands for a federated state, and I think one of the other questions he was asked is...
Yeah, this parliamentarian, I think it's from Momo. What is his name? He has actually said it in an interview in the halls of parliament, right?
Yes.
That the SDF wants federation. But the SDF only started talking about federation when these guys were picked up and locked up who were asking for federation.
No, actually, when our people were totally rebelling against the system.
Yes.
Don't forget that in Boya, in the thick of things,
yes,
they went and climbed on that podium and wanted people to sing the national anthem.
And the people turned against them.
Yes, and I think was that the first time they turned against him?
Yes.
And
people booed at him.
Yes. So these are go ahead, please.
So what I'm saying is that, and you saw there was the other time that the people came and surrounded him somewhere in Babenda and they didn't want to let him go because he has lied to Southern Cameroonians so much. He is the one who said that Southern Cameroonians should not consume any French-made products. But one of the biggest tenants in his house in Commercial Avenue in Bamenda is Paris Mutual Urbain Camerounais, PMUC. It's a French company.
Okay.
So while he was deceiving the people, he was taken with the other hand from behind with the French. So he has always been lying to the people, and that is why he cannot even have his history straight. The other thing that he said, that the journalists asked him whether in the next 50 years Cameroon is going to be together, he said no. So at least he is being honest.
I was going to say that at least he has that prediction correct.
He is not predicting, he is living the reality.
Okay.
He is not predicting anything. Because that is not a situation where he wants to be. Because basically what that means is it takes away everything that he is enjoying now. Because we are going to hold people accountable. The Southern Cameroons that we are hoping to build is going to be a government that holds people accountable. Yes. He couldn't even answer the fact that he has been on the helm of the SDF for the past 27 years or 20 how many years he has been on it?
For 3 decades, they said. You know, what is sad about the SDF is that even when they stand out there and they say we are for federation, they themselves don't mean it. Because if you read the letter that Wiba wrote to the parliamentarians when he was in exile, I mean, he basically said all our people have left. It's only you who is still at the parliament, and you should join the people.
Yes,
I think it's unfortunate that he went back and joined them, but so that letter showed that he understood that our people have moved, and I think from Fundi's prediction, he also understood that our people have moved. So it's only them.
Yeah,
who are
and
still
they
there.
don't even have it on their platform. I would want to see an SDF parliamentarian go to Parliament and table a bill in Parliament for the Federation of Cameroon.
Yes. Have they? Oh, they haven't. It's just talk.
It's just talk.
Okay.
Or they can change it in their platform, however they do it over there.
Now, when you talk about Frundi visiting London, I don't know if this is a rumor or it is true, but the veracity of the story, the force in which the story came and the precision showed that Paul Biya visited Bamenda at night at the font of Mancon. What do you think about that story?
He said he was disguised as Malamadamu.
He was disguised, yes.
Well, it is interesting and it's very unfortunate that he is coming at night. We don't do business at night.
Yes.
I am glad that if that is what happened and the font of Mancon turned him away, it's because we don't do business at night.
Yes.
If you have something that is clean and clear, come and see the font during the day. Nobody is going to stop you from going to see the font. Right?
No.
We respect our traditional authorities and our traditional institutions. And anybody who is coming to see the font, the people will receive you in the palace.
Yes.
And let you go talk to the font, and the font will come out and tell the people that this is what you said.
Yes.
So it is interesting. I think he is looking for the ways to get out of this jam the wrong way.
Yes.
And he's going around with the other guy, Dampolo, who said federation can never happen in Cameroon.
Yes.
So their own pronouncements and their own actions make them not the most suitable people to be going around trying to solve this problem.
You know, Gojidinka said that Cameroon is a country built on lies, on constitutionality. I mean, he has a whole chain of those
Adjectives.
yes, that he used in describing them. And I think Paul Biya's visit at night, disguised to go and visit the font of Mancon, shows the lie he is living. But the bigger truth about it is that it's a revelation that what our people are doing in resisting these barbarians is working.
Mm-hmm.
Because they thought that their power is in the barrel of a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And they've realized that the people of Ambazonia have shown that they are not afraid of that barrel of a gun.
Mm-hmm.
They've made it almost impossible to use the gun.
Mm-hmm.
And so people who only depend on the barrel of gun have run out of options.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how they have to sneak at night and come into our territory and go begging at our funds. I really think that our people should take a lesson from that and know that if they stick with this program, maybe escalate it, we are going to be free because we do not belong with those people. And then it's very interesting that these two stories come out at the same time. The Presbyterian Church buckling and Biya coming to beg.
Yes.
Isn't that something?
It is something, and I think the people should learn a lot from this. Because as I always tell you on this show, I am very, very proud of what you people are doing. I can always walk around with my head high and tell people that I'm from the southern Cameroons.
Absolutely.
And you have given me every reason to feel that proud and be a son and be a brother and be everything that you guys taught me. We are hoping that this message is getting through to you. Don't be intimidated by what Peter Isoka has said. Believe in your own virtues. Believe in yourself. If somebody is coming to tell you that, oh, schools need to go back, you need to ask yourself, okay, if I can send my child to PCC, can my neighbor send his or her own child there? And if the answer to that question is no, and your neighbor's child has to go to one of those schools with the funny teachers, and you belong to that community, you are going to say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to look after my neighbor's child. If we do that, if we live as if we are a community and not an island, we will be better every single day than the people of La Republique. I love you. God will continue to guide you, God will continue to protect you, and freedom is around the corner.
Yeah, and I'm going to add something to that. There's a speech by Patrick Henry, who was the American revolutionary who made a speech, and that speech moved America to resist British colonization. At the time, Britain was the strongest power in the world. And in that speech, he told his friends, his colleagues in Congress or whatever organization that they had at the time, that the battle is never mostly won by the strong, by the people who are most armed. The battle is mostly being armed, and being the strongest is just one. But he threw other things. I'm going to work on that and bring it as a show. He threw other things, that the battle is not just won by whoever has the biggest gun, but it's won by whoever is the bravest, whoever has the truth, whoever nature can support. And I think he even invoked on whose side God is.
Yes.
And so our people continue to resist. And I can tell you that within 6 months, these people who were Anglophiles for 56 years, I don't think anybody can call them Anglophiles again, and that has only been in the last 6 months that has changed.
Yes.
And so I think that the PCC should really think about what they're trying to do, because basically what they're trying to do is escalate the situation. Because unless things have changed, our people are not going to go back and say, well, let's go back and let's go to school and sit and it's like nothing ever happened. And let me just finish this part, please. So what is going to happen is that if you don't actually provide solutions that work, you are going to escalate it, and that will even put the children who are supposed to be going to these schools in danger.
Yeah, that is very true. And I want the moderator of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon to go and watch our latest production and come back and tell the people of the southern Cameroons what he has seen in those stories, what the people have gone through, and whether the people deserve to go back to school under the same conditions that he's talking about.
With that, I want to thank you again for always being the sharp mind, and really this thing is not even about mind, because we need to think about it. We need to teach our people, not really teach but share, because we have lessons that we've learned and they have lessons that they've learned. But I want our people to always know that in this struggle, they are the generals. It's not the people abroad. They are the commanders. They tell the people abroad what to do, what kind of help they need. But they are the people to continue to lead this struggle.
Thank you.
Thank you.